here. This is the first time as a commissioner that I've known since we had it like this, so I was more than welcome to come. As I say, my name is Timothy Thomas. I'm an ANC commissioner in 5808. I am what you call a long-time Washingtonian. I was born in Washington, born at the Columbia Hospital for Women. I went to Woodridge, went to Taft, went to McKinley, went away to college, and came back. The first time I ever registered to vote, I was in Pennsylvania. I was in school, and I voted for Jimmy Carter, who subsequently became the President of the United States. I've been a commissioner for like going on 15 years, and been around for a long time. We have another commissioner, Bob King, who's done it for 20 years. We have a lot of new commissioners, people come and go. But my area I have is self-contained. I love to tell everybody it's self-contained. There's no apartments, there's no ABC issues, there's no hanging out. There's a lot of car theft break-ins at my single-member district because people leave things in their car. In reference to development, we have two developments in my single-member district, which is 5808. We have the Ronald McDonald project, which is on 14th Street, which is almost finished. That's going on. And the other project that has been started it's at 18th and Michigan, Bunker Hill Road. Is the in front of the Hospital for Sick Children, which would be the park, which would be under renovation and early January. That's the only development, if you want to call it development, in my single-member district, which, by the way, we'll take that. In Ward 5 over here, there's a lot of development going on. There's a lot of people jockeying for position. They have concerns. They have concerns about the Catholic View project, how it's going to be built. The project on South Dakota, which the ANC approved, that project will be going online very soon. It's across the street from Bagley Junior High School, which is now a community college. The ANC approved that project. That'd be a great adventure for the community. Some new houses, stores. We have not yet named yet, but we're looking at the store we want. We just don't want abundance of just stores. We don't want things like Foot Lockers, anything like that. We want something that the community can come out and enjoy. As she mentioned earlier, these 12 ANC commissioners, they're all very difficult to deal with. They all have a lot of people we see come to the ANC for different reasons. They only have one agenda. After that one agenda is done, they're done with it. I am not that person. I've been here a long time, and I understand I'm being a little more. Thank you, girl. Okay.
All right, next on to 5810. More or less, to define the borders from Rhode Island Avenue to 18th Street to Newton to South Dakota. The incumbent is Mr. Phil Blair, as I mentioned earlier, but he is not running again.
He's running for XA.
Running for the exit.
No, XA and
But he's not running, and there are three candidates that are now running to replace him. Very healthy development, I think. Two of them are here tonight, and in ballot order, we'll start with Ms. Jahan Ashley Carter for a 3-minute opening statement.
Hello, everyone. I would like to first thank for having me here today, and as well, I would like to introduce myself to the various candidates on the board. I am why am I qualified? I think that's pretty much the main concern if you are in my school member district. I believe I will bring a fresh perspective to the seat. As you can tell, very youthful, very energetic, and I think that is needed. I'm a 28-year resident, which means I'm extremely vested in the issues that affect my community. And last but not least, I am an attorney. I believe my legal background will effectively allow me to handle the issues that concern constituents, and not just allow me to effectively handle them, but I would like to use my legal background as a way to educate constituents about their rights. A lot of times, if something's wrong with your tree, you don't know the proper procedure, or if you have a house next to you and it's not being sold, and it's falling apart next to you, and it's becoming a nuisance, how do you handle those issues? So I would hope that, again, my fresh perspective, the fact that I've been a long-term resident here, and a legal background, all those things coupled will allow me to move my particular single member district, which is again 5A10, move it forward. I also like, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name, the shirt?
John.
John, I like what John said in terms of working with other single member districts. Because they're so small, we're right next to each other. So I think it's really important for the person that is elected in this seat to work with others. I think that was a very good point that you made. In terms of my platform, and I can get into this more if any of you guys have any questions, my top 3 are reduction of crime. Unfortunately, in my single member district, there has been an increase in crime, particularly break-ins during the day. So that is something I would like to work with local police with in terms of maybe stepping up, neighborhood foot patrol in these areas where in the peak times they're suffering from neighborhood break-ins. Number 2, constituent services. I definitely believe in having consistent, regular meetings. If you don't have a forum to have your concerns heard, they will never be addressed. So something I would like to beef up is, again, consistent monthly, regular meetings, and also having a time in terms of my response time, whether it's 3 business days, 5 business days. I think it's very important that constituents know the process in terms of how their concerns will be addressed. My 3rd is environmental concerns, whether it be vacant properties, trash, trees, speed bumps, things of that nature. My final thing, which isn't in my top 3, but I think does affect us, is smart economic development of Rhode Island Avenue. I think that's something I would like to work on as well. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Corey Arnaz Griffin. 3-minute opening statement.
Thank you, Caroline, and thank you to Brooklyn Civic Association. I don't think you were calling me old John, but I hear something about that. Anyway, I'm excited about the opportunity to serve 5A10. I'm a native of Washington, D.C., and I've been in the Brooklyn community now for 9 years. And I'm a small business owner and a 15-year executive at Microsoft, and I recently left. I'm running for a number of reasons, but in particular, I'm running because I love this city and I love my town. There are some concerns, obviously, that we've been hearing a great deal about. I've got a crime statistics report, and it shows that in PSA 502, we have a 30% increase in burglaries over the last 12 months. I think that's reason to be concerned. We have an 11% increase of total property crime in PSA 502 for a total of 8% increase in total crime in Brooklyn. So that is my burning platform. I have myself been victimized several times since I've been back in this community, and it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for me to have dealt with the police department. I've had several conversations with the police department, with Commander Green, and the other staff here. I think they are committed. However, I believe that there are some significant concerns in terms of how they police and how they're addressing some of the issues. I have a long history and a long body of work. I've served both locally and nationally, and also have been recognized for my service around the world, and recently was named as top 40, under 40 in Washington, D.C. in international development. And I think that experience and the work that I've done across organizations like So Others Might Eat, working with the Greater Washington Urban League on issues from everything from homelessness to education, and then also working with kids and youth crime issues. My platform, again, I've talked a lot about the burglaries and the increase in crime. I think that 5A10 deserves better city services. And I just want to show you for illustration some of the concerns that I'd like to have us focus on. This is an alleyway. Our alleys are full of debris in some cases and are not being properly taken care of. Excuse me. This is debris and garbage on our streets and in our communities. We need to do better. And I don't think it's just the concerns of the city administration, but also the citizens. and I think we can organize to do better. As I've mentioned, I have been a victim of car vandalism. This is a car that I found on our streets. As you can see, the doors are gone. This is horrible. We shouldn't have to deal with this. And my last photo is my own car. Okay, this was in the snow. I'd love to serve. Thank you so much.
Okay, the third candidate for 5A10 is a man by the name of Mr. Alan Tillman. As I mentioned, he is not here tonight, so we're going to move on to 5B04. The boundaries are more or less from Rhode Island Avenue to the railroad tracks, to Irving Street, to 18th Street, and back to Rhode Island. The incumbent there is Ms. Racine Woodland, but she could not be here tonight, unfortunately. So we'll hear from a person who's running against her for the position, Mr. Vaughn Bennett. 3-minute opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out. Thank you very much, Carolyn, on this event. This is my first time ever running for an elected office, and I'm thankful and blessed for the opportunity. And I have been campaigning very hard, going door to door from one side of the ANC all the way to the other end of the ANC. And I've heard and seen that there are quite a bit of issues that must be addressed. I'm a former DC firefighter, and the 6 years I spent on the fire department, 3 of them I spent at the busiest company in the nation. And we used to run approximately 25 to 35 calls per day, most of them being medical. And when I left the department, I realized that there was a solution to the question that I had, that what could be done before the police or fire or ambulance come for our children. And chess was the answer. So I started teaching chess to children, and I've been blessed to teach children since the time of 1997. I've taken children around the world to compete, not around the world, I apologize, around the country to compete. We've tied for first place in the country. I took a team to Denver, Colorado. I've taught chess to children, juvenile and young adult inmates in the DC jail. I taught chess to HIV and AIDS patients at Max Robinson Center. I currently teach chess to individuals that are low vision and blind. I have a regular Monday night excellent class with 2 to 5-year-old children at the Woodbridge Library. And then after that at 6:30, and these are free classes. At 6:30 we take the older children. Children can win full scholarships to college playing chess. So this is my occupation. This is what I do every day. So I talk about this because I put the same effort and energy into teaching chess as I did as running into a burning building and rescuing someone, patching up different wounds, life-threatening wounds, and reviving someone from doing CPR. This position of ANC Commissioner is one that I would take just as seriously, giving 200%. Where I see the need to connect our seniors, there's no cohesive network across our single-member district to connect our seniors. And I know we can't sit behind a door and push a button and reach all of them. So there are many issues. We talked about, I heard leadership and there's employment issues, and with the development coming up Rhode Island Avenue, those developers should be held accountable for the laws that exist in the District of Columbia to say 51% of those jobs should go to the district community. In addition to that, our developers that come into the community should be held to voluntary community agreements. They should give back to the community. You know, there's a need to bring the people together, and we have not had enough opportunity to do that. So I'm pledging to do at least 4 community meetings, but I realize we actually need more than that. We probably need about 1 every month. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Now we're going to open the floor up